Recording.
Hello, thank you for coming today. I'd like to welcome you. Today I'd like to talk to you about gun control in the United States and a notion that a large part of our population seems to have regarding the current presidential administration and what they feel are attempts to take away guns from the American people, along with the ability to own firearms. I'd like to start off by saying my name is Chris Ottinger and I am a gun enthusiast. America has a unique relationship with firearms. It began with the first colonists who used them for gathering food and self-defense. There are some Native Americans that would argue the self-defense part of that comment. But they were definitely integral in the United States winning independence, in that if the colonists did not have them prevalent in their society, they would have been overrun by the British, and the United States as we know it today would not exist. The relationship with guns continued through the early westward migration and through the Civil War, which brought the innovation of the self-contained cartridge and weapons that could hold multiple cartridges and fire them quickly in succession, including the Gatling gun, which was the first fully automatic weapon. This continued, this relationship with guns continued until 1934, when the first gun legislation was enacted as a result of gangland violence and criminal activity in Chicago and throughout the Midwest. The criminals had access to Thompson submachine guns and Browning automatic rifles that the police departments didn't even have. So while the law enforcement agencies attempted to play catch-up, they thought it might be good to outlaw the ability of someone to walk into a hardware store, buy a Thompson submachine gun, a couple thousand rounds of ammunition, and walk out again. This was followed by legislation in 1968 and 1986, culminating in 2004 with the passage of the Brady Bill, which was named after Secretary James Brady, who received permanent brain damage as a result of a wound during an assassination attempt on President Ronald Reagan's life. Interesting side note is that Reagan was unaware that he had been shot until a Secret Serviceman pointed out to him that he had blood on his suit coat. Since that time, there has been nothing whatsoever in the world of legislation regarding guns in the United States of America, other than the expiration of the Brady Bill in 2004. Currently, assault rifles with high-capacity magazines, semi-automatic handguns with high-capacity magazines, riot shotguns as long as the barrel is 18 inches are legal and available in most parts of the United States of America, along with increased states' rights for carry concealed weapons by citizens. In the state of Missouri during the Obama administration, we no longer have a waiting period for getting firearms, pistols. There is no permit any longer required to be garnered from a law enforcement agency before purchasing a pistol. You can simply walk into a sporting goods store, pick out one you like, and with the proper identification, walk out with it. The only thing that President Obama has done is he did call for law enforcement agencies to start following the rules and regulations that already exist regarding the relaying of updated criminal history information to the federal government, so they didn't okay gun purchases by criminals. But somehow this is turned around, and we have a large portion of the people who feel that the current administration is trying to take guns away, modify gun rights, and even make it illegal for citizens to own firearms. Today I'm going to break convention by using two quotes of longer than just a few words each, because the problem today is not in the words or in the actions of people, but the interpretation of those words and actions that are being used by certain parties to create this void between concept and reality. So these two quotes, the first will be from Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who probably was unaware she was giving an anti-gun speech during an interview with Egyptian television last year during the Arab Spring uprising. They were interviewing her in reference to setting up a government. The question: would your Honor's advice be to get a part or other countries' constitutions as a model, or should we develop our own draft? Her answer: you should certainly be aided by all the constitution writing that has gone on in World War II. I would not look to the U.S. Constitution if I were drafting a constitution in the year 2012. I might look at the Constitution of South Africa. That was a deliberate attempt to have a fundamental instrument of government that embraced basic human rights, had an independent judiciary. It really is, I think, a great piece of work that was done. Much more recent than the U.S. Constitution, Canada has a Charter of Rights and Freedoms that dates from 1982. You would almost certainly look at the European Convention on Human Rights. Yes, why not take advantage of what there is in the world? I'm a very strong believer in listening and learning from others. This information was taken by the National Rifle Association CEO and Executive Vice President Wayne LaPierre, and talked about in speeches and on the National Rifle Association website. The National Rifle Association has 4 million members nationwide, arguably the most powerful lobbying organization in Washington, D.C. at this time. Mr. LaPierre commented on Justice Bader Ginsburg's words. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has given gun owners a grim reminder of why this election year is so important. Speaking to an Egyptian television network, Ginsburg said she thinks the U.S. Constitution shouldn't be a model for other countries. I would not look to the U.S. Constitution if I were drafting a constitution in the year 2012, are her exact words. And what would be a better option in Ginsburg's opinion? The Constitution of South Africa, which provides no mention of a right to keep and bear arms in its lengthy Bill of Rights. You have a right to affordable housing, according to Ginsburg, but not the right to defend yourself inside your affordable housing. Imagine if one of the justices were to retire in the next 4 years. The likelihood of that happening is good, and we know that Barack Obama would replace him or her with a nominee who believes, just like Bader Ginsburg, that you and I don't actually have the right to keep and bear arms. This is what's at stake in this year's elections. We will have a president who believes that our Constitution is nothing more than an old piece of paper that should be discarded or ignored when he sees fit. Not if the NRA has anything to say about it. We've been fighting for our Second Amendment rights since 1871, but never has there been a more crucial time for our firearms freedoms. The danger is real. The stakes are immense, and the task won't be easy. Together, however, I know NRA members will go all in this election season to deny Obama the opportunity to nominate any more anti-gun judges to the nation's highest court. I will leave those words with you for your own interpretation from those two parties, and let you decide for yourself why you think there may be a problem and a misunderstanding regarding the current gun laws of the United States of America. Thank you very much for coming today.
Yay.
9 minutes, sir.
He will.
Uh-oh. Is this editing?
Huh? So, anyway, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chris.
9 minutes?
Yeah. We got stuff in the oven we gotta